All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the elders of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel, truth and sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon all your houses. This is Brother Quanah Watts from the Arizona Great Millstone Camp. Coming back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing. It is edifying, Lord willing, it is straight to the point. I was just meditating, earlier on, something that, came to me through the spirit. One morning, I think it was like Saturday or Sunday, man, if I'm not mistaken, man, the phrase "stay locked in" came to me through the spirit. When I woke up, man, it was the first thing that, ultimately popped in my mind, and I was just meditating on that, man, just looking at the different things, that are happening. And, Esau, is ultimately, doing his distraction tactic again, man, heavily, on this Epstein bullshit, man. Now, Trump, going back and forth on this Epstein list and shit. But we know that Esau, has been, passing certain laws and acts and, bills and policies and whatnot, as well as different things going on around the world, right, that are aiding in, the prophecy of Revelations 13, verse 16 and 17, which is the mandatory implementation of the RFID micro C hip, which is the mark of the beast, which means we're one step closer, to that hour of temptation, man, and again, just meditating on those things, man, it kind of, it was having me meditate on that phrase that came to me through the spirit, man, stay locked in, right, because we're at the end of the end, man, So I got this right here in Colossians 3:1. If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, right? Seek Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai and his words, his truth. That's what we need to be focused on, man. It says, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. Set your affections on things above, not on things on the earth. That's right? We can't let these things, distract us, right, from what we need to be focused on, man. Right, the little situations that we go through in this world, right, the afflictions, the sufferings and whatnot. Even just, the carnal shit, right? Your car, being focused on your car, right? Some people, have a hobby, right? They work on their car, they tweak their car, or they want to buy parts for their car, right? They, can afford it, Some people want to, get into the stones, whatnot. But, we can't let those things, right, ultimately distract us, man. We got to stay focused on Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, in every aspect, and continue to, walk on this path as, as best we can, because if we're focused on the things of the world, man, ultimately, hey, we're gonna slip up, man. I got this right here in Matthew 6 and verse 19. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. And as you read, right, in 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, the 18th verse, right, that these things that, that we have or we can attain in this world, and the different accolades and, even that money, right, all this shit is temporal, right? We read in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, in Salaki, this is a, in transit, Salaki for not stating that at the beginning, so I'm going to be quoting a lot of scriptures, but in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, right, verse 9 and 10, it tells you that, all these things that we see here in this, and are going to be destroyed, man. They're temporal. They have an expiration date, man. On top of that, it tells you, Micah 2:10, that this place is polluted, man. This is not our rest, right? So we shouldn't be focused on something that's ultimately not gonna last long. On top of that, it's ultimately destroying us having these things, man. Right? Having a cell phone, this shit, has radiation, man. So it's like you're putting radiation right up to your freaking head. Up to your head. And this is everyday thing, right? They talk about, as far as men, right, having your cell phone in your front pocket, right? Can hurt you, in that area. So why even be focused on that type of shit, man? Why want this place to, to continue? Why even try to worry about this shit? Right? We understand that we're in the world, and, we have to pay bills. We got to take care of our families, We have different responsibilities and whatnot that we have to take care of, right? But understand that this shit is, it's not going to make it very long, man. And we see it. We ain't got another 10, 15 years, man. We don't believe that through the Spirit. Right? We believe that maybe we got another, a few years, hopefully by the, the end of Trump's, before the end of Trump's, administration. Hopefully, we really want this place to be gone yesterday. Just being real. Right? But we understand, that we're in the, prophecy, man. Prophecy has to happen. And we're in the time where these prophecies are being, set up to be fully activated right before our eyes. So fuck this place, man. Right? Verse 20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, right? Where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal, right? That Esau can't tap into that spiritual bank account, man. Right? Esau can't, take these, those spiritual gains away from us. Right? As long as we continue to, trust and believe in Yahweh Shem Shah in truth and in sincerity. Right? Stay focused, right, on the mission at hand. And do our best to please Yahweh Shem Shah, following the commandments to the best of our ability. Yahweh Shem Shah said, what? He ain't gonna take them away from us, man. And if, again, Lord, will we be part of the elect? If the Lord ain't gonna do it, Esau damn sure can't do it, man. Because the scriptures talk about trust not in uncertain riches, man. Right? The fucking fiat currency that we have now. Hey, well, guess what? When we go and present our bodies a living sacrifice and, prove our faith and our fear of Yahweh Shem Shah every single day, hey, well, that currency that we laying up is a spiritual currency that, that has, unlimited value, man. In a sense. Right? This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? That's that true riches that we're laying up in the heavens with Yahweh Shem Shah. Right? As we read in Romans 11:33. It's the true riches, man. So it has value. We're not just trying to put, numbers on a fucking screen in our bank accounts, man. Some bullshit anyways. We're focused, right, on receiving the kingdom, man. Those promises, those exceeding and precious promises, right, that were promised to us, man. That were promised to our, our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. And to their seed, which are the Israelites today, man. That's what we're trying to receive. That's what we should be focused on, man. Meditating on it as much as possible. Verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. When you go back to that word heart, it goes back to the Hebrew word lab, meaning your mind. Right? You value the things in the world, hey, that's where you're going to be focused. right? But if you value Yahweh B'Shem El Shai in this word, well, guess what, man? That's where you're going to be focused. You're going to be focused on Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. And getting this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which, as it says in Isaiah 33:6, right, is wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times, man, and the strength of salvation. Applying this word, right, will allow, for us to move the way in which is, pleasing to Yahweh B'Shem El Shai, to where He does miracles and protects us, man, because He says He only had care for His elect. Right, and the elect are going to be applying these scriptures. The elect are going to be trusting and believing and calling upon the names of Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. And those are the ones that are going to have those miracles done for them, because they have faith, right? That gift, right? That faith, and because they have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So we have to stay focused, man. We can't look back, right? Hebrews the 10th chapter. Right, it's a heavy chapter when dealing with, motivating us to keep pushing, right? Not to look back. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to, grab it, kind of press for time. Matter of fact, I got a few minutes. Let's grab it. Kind of early. So this is Hebrews chapter 10. And what is that? Verse 34. Right, verse 35. It says, cast not away therefore your confidence, right? Which, when you go back to that word confidence, right? One of its synonyms is faith, our belief, right? In Yahweh B'Shem El Shai, in this word, in this walk, right? In this truth, right? Cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward, right? So there's a reward for doing this. There's a reward for staying focused. There's a reward for being diligent, right? There's also a reward for being the 2/3, right? There's a reward for being wicked, and their reward, right, is death and destruction. While Lord will, right, we be of that number. Our reward is going to be everlasting life, right? Perfection, right? Those perfect bodies, right? Never going off again, serving Yahweh, having the law, statutes, commandments written in our inward parts and in our foreheads, man, in our minds. Right, going from a stony heart to a fleshly heart, man. Never going off again, man. Those are the things that we desire. Right, that's the reward that we want. Those exceeding and precious promises. Right, verse 36 is, for we have need of patience. Right, and guess what, man? Right, even though we see these things coming, hey, we still got to remain, humble. Right, remain patient, man. Which patience is, synonymous with suffering, right? Because we want to get the fuck out of here, man. But, hey, we got to patiently wait for it, man. Right? It says, for ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise. So we're not even guaranteed to make it, man. We're not guaranteed to make it. This is why we have to continue to remain focused, right? Or, hey, you're going to end up going, you take your eyes off the prize, you're going to end up losing the game. If you're not focused, right, on scoring, you're going to end up losing, man. That's just the case of the matter, man. Right? So, again, remain focused. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eyes on Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. Right? It says, for yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. No pleasure. I mean, the Lord don't see any value in you. Which is scary. The only way that, we're going to be, have value to the Lord is if we, again, do the things that are pleasing unto the Lord. First and foremost, fearing Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. And utilizing that gift in which he gave us, man. That faith. But it says if you draw back, hey, the Lord don't have any pleasure in you, man. Meaning he's finna spew you out his mouth and do away with you and not look back. Which is fucking scary, man. And that goes for all of us, man. Myself first and foremost. Right? Verse 39 says, but we are not of them who draw back unto perdition. No, the scriptures say that the Apostle Paul said what? We are more than conquerors, man. In Romans the 8th chapter, man. Right? So through Yahweh Shai, we can do all things, man. Through Yahweh Shai, we can do all things, man. You know, as long as we continue to trust and believe and have faith, right, in Yahweh Shai, right? But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. And that's what we want, man, deliverance. You know, to be saved, you know, from this world, man. To be delivered from the evils to come. You know, and that's only going to come, right, if we do the things, right, that the elect will be doing. And the elect are going to remain focused, keeping their eyes single on Yahweh Shai in these times more now than ever. Right? And even more as the days go on. You know? Lord will, you know, we all be of that number, man. You know? But that's all I got, man. Lord will, you know, was edifying. Lord will, straight to the point. Lord will, you know, is faith boosting. You know, but I want to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachakwadash, double honors to the elder apostles, elder bishops, great millstone. Till next time I say Shalom.